Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. This is a video to go over do now number 9 for your Regents review. And this one's going to be all about statistics today, so definitely make sure you have that graphing calculator ready because we're definitely going to need it today. And then don't forget to post all these pages on Google Classroom for me so you get credit for today's classwork. All right, here we go. Create the scatter plot using the data below and sketch an appropriate line of best fit. All right, so number one, we have a bunch of things to do, but we're going to start with our scatter plot. So we have X is our minutes, Y is our baskets. Okay, so we're going to make our X, our Y, and our double zeros. Here the numbers are pretty low, so we'll do every other is going to be 1. And here we have to go to 99, so we'll do every 1 is 5. So I'll just write every other as 10. 90 and 100. Okay, so this is our minutes. This is our baskets. And this is the one where you want to make your title with the verses. It's always when you do a scatter plot because you're comparing two things. So minutes versus baskets. All right, so now we're just going to graph. So 1 goes with 20. 2 goes with 35. 3 goes with 53. It's about there. 4 goes with 64, 5 goes with 80, and 6 with 99. Okay, so scatter plot, done. Create scatter plot, done. Okay, determine the equation. All right, so for this, you're going to put the numbers in. So you're going to press stat 1, which is edit. We're going to put the numbers into L1, and then don't forget we're going to press stat, move over to calc, and then we're going to press number 4, which is going to say regression. Remember, linear regression simply just means line of best fit. Okay, and then for the next one, actually, it's correlation coefficient. So while we're on that same screen, we'll just get it all done. Okay, so y equals, clear that out. Okay, so stat 1, clear out all your numbers. Put all the x values in L1. 20, 35, 53, 64, 80, 99. Put all the y's. Let me just make sure I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 20, 64, 80. Good. Okay. And now we're going to press stat, move over to calc, and your linear regression. And calculate. And now you have your equation that comes up, the information you need, and also that R, that correlation coefficient. Okay. Remember, if you don't have this on, the easiest way is just press the mode and scroll down until you get stat diagnostics and you want to turn it on. That'll get that R for you, okay? Let me just quickly get back to that screen. All right, and it wants nearest hundredth, okay? So tens, hundredths, the 7 rounds this up to a 6. And then this doesn't have hundreds, so we'll put a 0 in. And this one is thousands. Letter B is thousands, tens, hundreds, thousands. So the 0 does not round this up. So we'll get both of those done. Okay, so y equals 15.46x plus 4.40. I would definitely add that 0 in because of the hundredth. And then this is the r. Okay, that's what we're looking for. Is that actually, let me write it lowercase so it looks like what's on there. And then to turn this on, okay, to turn on, we pressed mode, and then we scroll down to where it says stat diagnostic, and then we turned that on. Okay, so this was 0.998. So if you remember, I always taught you a sentence that went along with it, so I want to write that sentence. So the correlation coefficient shows a strong positive linear, like we could say linear because it says line of best fit, linear relationship, because the correlation coefficient is close to positive 1. Okay. So let's see. So A is done. We have our equation. Here we have our correlation coefficient. That's done. Oh, we also want to do this. Sketch an appropriate line of best fit. Okay, so we didn't do that. I didn't see that. So this is where you want to begin in order to sketch this line. Remember, you don't want to put an extra dot, but you definitely want to put your pencil right where you think around 4.4 is. And then you want to take your ruler and you want to make sure that you are going in the middle of the dots as middle as possible. All right, let's try here. So we have those two look on the line. We have 1, 2 above, 1 below. Probably could have went a little smidge higher. Let me make this a smidge higher. Actually, it's fine. We'll just leave it. We'll just leave it. Just fix this little part right here. Okay, there we go. Make sure you have your arrow. Make sure you put the equation on the line. Okay, so for this, I'm going to write line must be in the middle of the dots. Okay, that you want to remember. And then over here, I'm going to write, what am I going to write over here? I'm going to write begin at the y-intercept, and so important, no arrows, because no negative minutes or baskets. Minutes or baskets. All right, so that's officially done now. This is done, this is done. Okay, determine the number of baskets. So number of baskets was y. That's made in 10 minutes, so that was x. All right, so go to where x is 10. Oh, there's no x of 10 here. Okay, so since there's no x of 10, we have to do what's called extrapolating. So basically, we're going to need to use our equation to figure it out. Okay, it would be called interpolating, if you remember that vocabulary word, if it was like 1 to 6, something that was graphed inside, but we don't have that. All right, so we're going to plug x in for 10. Okay, or x in as 10. Okay, follow our order of operations. We get 154.6 plus 4.40, and that's going to give us approximately 100, and it does say nearest integer, so let's see. So 154.6 plus 4.4. Oh, that's nice. It already comes out. So 159 baskets. All right, 159. All right, D, how long would it take? Okay, so now that's minutes, so that's X. Would it take to make 250 baskets? All right, so we go here, 250. Oh, that's also not on the graph, so we can't use our line of best fit. So again, we have to extrapolate. Extrapolating. So anytime that it's inside the plot of X, they wanted to know, 70 baskets, 30 baskets, 45, it would be interpolating because we could just go use our line and go over. But these are extrapolating, so these are all about the equations. So we're going to copy our equation over. And now this time they give us the y value. So we're going to put the y value here. And then instead of simplifying, we're just going to do a little bit of algebra. So move over your constant, move over the 4.40. So you get 245.6. And then we want to divide both sides by 15.46. And nearest integer, so 245.6 divided by 15.46, and we get 15.8. So 15.8861573, but it does want nearest integer, so we're going to write 15.8, so that's going to go to 16 minutes. Okay, I think I want to change this. I should want this to be y equals 159. 159, and then I want 159 baskets over here. I like that better. Okay, so I think we are good. Oh, actually, let's just fix this right over here. It looks like a 40. It should be 4.40, and now we are good. Number 1 is done. All right, number 2, state the following from the table of data collected from 15 students and their number of hours watching Hulu each week. So 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so 15. So the mean, mode, range, we got all of this stuff, and this is going to be quick because this is all going to go in the calculator. So put all numbers into L1. Remember, L1 is your stat, and then it's number 1, edit, right? We just did it for the other one. And then again, we're going to go to stat calc. Okay, move over to calc. Stat, move over to calc, and then we're going to go this time to 1. Okay, 1 of our stats, and we're going to get information from there. Okay, so we're going to go to stat 1. Let's clear out everything. Remember, you go to the top, highlight the top, press clear, go down, and then it works. Okay, so 5, 16, 2, 15, 3, 0. Make sure you have the 0 in there. 20, 14, 26, 14, and 11. Okay, so if I go back on 11, you'll see that says 15. That means 15 numbers, which is what we want, or what we had. So stat, calc, number 1. Okay, and then some of the information will be here on the top. Remember the X bar, that's going to be your mean. Okay, so X bar is going to be 10.6. And actually, let me put the work first. Okay, so the work is the sum of the numbers. That's the sum right there. And that's how the n is how many you had. Okay, so we're going to do 159 over 15, and that's going to give me 10.6. All right, so the mode is not on the calculator. That's just the most frequent. Okay, and that 14 was done twice. You type that in twice, so that's going to be that. Your range is your max minus your min. Let the calculator do it for you. If you scroll down, you have your min and your max right there. So 26 and 0. So 26 minus 0 is 26. That is done. All right, standard deviation, median, and interquartile range. I'm going to do the median while I'm right here on this page anyway. And actually, let's do the interquartile range because that's really quick also. That's Q3 minus Q1. Q3 is 15. Q1 is 3. And that gives me 12. All right, so standard deviation, we have to go to a different screen. We have to scroll back up. So since they talked about collecting it from 15 students, and we have 15 numbers, this is going to be population, okay? It's not saying, I collected data from 15 students, but I'm only writing down 3 of them, or I'm only collecting 15 students from the whole entire Merrick population. So that's why this is using all of it, so it's population. And we're going to do these to the nearest 10. So if you remember, I kind of said that the population, the P, you look for that circle, and that's how you remember it's this one right here. Okay, so nearest 10th, that would be 7.2. Okay, and then the variance, these were the buttons. Remember, variance began with V, so use the button that begins with V. So it's vars, then 5, which is your stats button. And then you're going to press the population. Okay, this is your lowercase sigma and your x squared. Okay, so you have to do the standard deviation. It has to already be in this calculator, okay, stored in. Now we're going to press vars. We're going to go to 5, remember, because we're in the stats unit. We're going to go to our population, and then we have to press squared. You cannot just square this number. It will be completely wrong. All right, nearest 10th is 51.2. 51.2. All right, so I think that one is all done. Yeah, looks good. Number 3. Okay, modal interval. So modal interval is our highest frequency. Highest frequency. All right, so we're looking at a table, interval frequency. Our highest frequency is going to be right there, 86 to 90. Okay, you have this one on your stats quiz too. Okay, so now I'm going to do the median, the lower quartile, the upper quartile. I want to know what interval it is, and we're going to do the shortcut. Okay, really, really, really important. Has to say frequency, which this does, to do the shortcut. Okay, and when we go to do these, you want to make sure, so you must start counting from the lowest interval. Okay, you have to count, especially when you do, your upper quartile. If you don't start in the right spot, you're going to be completely off. Okay, we count all these up. 10. This is going to give us 25. 10. Let's just make sure that I'm right. 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 4 plus 2 plus 4. Yes, 25. So this is our total frequency, which is what we need. RTF. Okay, so now what you're going to do, median is the middle, so that's 50%. So you're going to take your 50% and you're going to multiply it by that total frequency, okay? And then you get 12.5, and I always told you to round up. I said to think of it kind of like a person. You can't really have half of a person or a part of a person. So you always round up. Okay, so I'm starting from my lowest down here. So that's 6. This is going to get me to 10. And then these 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So go to the number 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's going to be right here in this 86 to 90. Okay, lower quartile is going to be 25%, but the same thing, you're still going to multiply by the total frequency, right? These are total frequency. And that's 6.25. No matter what it is, always round it up. Even if it's 0.1, you want to round it up. Okay, I'm going to go to the 7th person, start here from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 81 to 85. And then we want the upper quartile. That's going to be our 75% times 25. Again, that's our total frequency. And that gets us 18.75, which we're going to round to 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 86 to 90 is the winner. All right, so that one wasn't horrible. All right, last one. Calculate, create a box plot for the scores. Mr. Purple's math exam. Determine the IQR. Are there any outliers? You must show work. Okay, so remember, like we've been doing today, we're going to go to stat, and then we're going to press number 1, edit, and then we're going to put the numbers into L1, and then we're going to go to exactly where we just went. We're going to go to stat, calc, number 1 of our stats, and this time we're going to press down because all the numbers we need are going to be on that second screen, okay? So really quickly, stat 1, 75, 66, 85, 89, 72, 86, 78, 61, 99, 84, 92, 80, 83, 80, 86, 94, 98, 75, 86, 88, 84, 92, 93, and 42. Okay, so this is the one where you had to write what's called a 5-number summary, and that's why we need to go to this part right here. So stat, calc, number 1, and we're going to go all the way down so we see those 5. Now remember, the Regents is never going to ask for it, but they're going to take off if you don't have it. So we're just going to copy this. So minimum is 42. Quartile 1 is 76.5. The median is 84.5. Quartile 3 is 90.5. And your max is 99. So again, this is called your 5-number summary. Okay, so now we want to plot these. They already made the numbers for us. That's nice. So 42, remember, you want to make the dots above. So dots must be above the line. Okay, cannot touch that number line. 76.5, I'm going to go like right around here. 84.5, 90.5, and 99. Okay, so you take those middle 3 dots and you make your vertical lines. Connect the tops to make the box part of it. And then you connect here, and you can connect here, and that's your whisker. And then don't forget your title. So Mr. Purple's math exam. Okay. IQR, we did this before, is Q3 minus Q1. So Q3 is 90.5. Q1 is 76.5. And that should be minus. And that's going to give us 14. Okay. Notice, by the way, see how long this tail is? Okay. You're going to hopefully remember why, and we're going to go over in 2 seconds down here, and you're really going to find out why. Okay, so are there any outliers? So there was an outlier formula that I taught you in Do Now number 1. Hopefully you remember it. If not, here it is. So it's Q1 minus 1.4 times IQR, and then Q3 plus. Think of like this is like the lower, so think of like less, so think, you know, subtraction. And Q3 is like higher, more, so think plus. But what's inside the parentheses is exactly the same. Okay, so Q1 is 76.5 minus 1.5 times the IQR. We already figured it out. That's 14. Okay, put that in the calculator, and you get 21. And then if we take 76.5 minus 21, we get 55.5. So this is called a lower boundary. This is like the fancy words they'll use in the high school. Okay, Q3 is 90.5. And 1.5 times 14, we already know that's 21. So 90.5 plus 21 gives you 115.21. And that's going to be your upper boundary. Okay. Now, these are not numerical order. So the easiest way is to put in numerical order. Okay. But what we can do is actually, we can just use these numbers right here. So if my minimum is 42, right? And then my max is 90. It's saying that my lowest number could be the lowest boundary is 55. So that's going to be kind of like somewhere over here. And my upper is going to be all the way over here. Okay, so if you notice, every single number inside is good. So this, that's the no good. That's the outlier. Okay, if you notice, all of these numbers Okay, if we go through all of them are less than 115, so that's good. But are they all above the 55? So these are all good, these are all good, these are all 55, and there you go. That is your outlier. So this, back up here before we finish this question, this is tail, this is skewed left. Remember, it's skewed to where the tail is, and that's because of the outlier. So this really low number, really great, is pulling down the average, okay? So remember, you have all the grades in the 90s, and then you just get this one bad grade, and it's gonna pull down your average. So if there's an outlier, that's when you wanna use the median and not the mean. So, all right, so let's finish up this question. So 42 is less than the lower boundary, 55.5. Therefore, it is, we'll just write an outlier. We'll write that. Okay, so this had a little bit of everything in it, but that is why this is so skewed, is because of that outlier. And again, if they ask you, which measure central tendency to use, you would want to use the median because the mean is affected by the outlier, which this does have one in there. So, all right, so that was a lot, but hopefully you remembered most of it. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. If not, just go ahead and post this on Google Classroom so you get credit for today's lesson. And yeah, that's it. Have a great day. Bye.